gotta make it out to Vegas, where the lights shine bright. Vegas, in the clear desert night. Vegas, where they can make you a star. Vegas, at the NFR.
NFR Extra is a podcast dedicated to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo and features icons and personalities that embody the Western lifestyle.
I don't know, like you say, when people hear the Wright family name, it kind of gets a little loud in that Thomas and Mack. Seems like they are quite fond of us there. And, well, I was the first Wright out at the NFR, so when they said my name, I could hear the crowd. And in the Thomas and Mack, it's just a different kind of loud.
Yeah.
And I heard the crowd, and I had to hurry and nod because I was getting a little nervous.
I'm going to throw up. Hold on.
This is Brylan Bentley, and you're listening to NFR Extra.
Anytime you talk about saddle bronc riding in the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, there's one particular family in the last few years that have made big waves, and that is continuing to tread on here today with our man, Mr. Statler Wright. How are you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. What's it like growing up in the Wright family?
Just like any other ordinary kid, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I did anything much. I played sports in high school. I don't know. It wasn't, well, for me particularly, it wasn't rodeo. It was more, I was a football kind of guy. I didn't much care for rodeo. So I just had a normal childhood. I don't know. It was awesome. I liked it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
So what position did you play in football?
I actually played slot receiver, running back, outside linebacker, safety, and I was a punter.
Oh my gosh.
Small 2A school in Utah.
Sure.
It was kind of do it all.
Yeah.
Your best punt ever?
62 yards.
Whoa, that's a good one.
It was windy, so that kind of helps.
We didn't ask for details. We were just complimenting. Yeah, I'd leave it on that. The wind was blowing towards him. It would have been farther, but
yeah, the wind was blowing towards me. I didn't say which way the wind was blowing.
So what changed then? So if you were really into high school sports, and obviously as you go from levels of any sport, it gets more difficult when you go into college. But what changed for you to leave traditional sports behind and get more focused on rodeo?
COVID really did it for me. COVID shut everything down, and then I couldn't do anything else. We really got locked down, just sitting at the house, and if we weren't at the house, we were fixing fence with my dad, and I was getting tired of doing that. I was trying to find any excuse to get away from fixing fence. And we had one practice horse that come from Bridwell's named Mullen Road, and I just asked my dad, I said, can I start riding broncs? And he was all for it, ready for me to do it. And I don't know, COVID's where I got on my first one. So it ain't been a long road, but it's been a fun one.
So that had put you about 16 years old. Is that math line up right?
Yeah, 16, 17.
16, 17. So, wow. And so what was it like watching your brothers already be very successful at rodeo? That really didn't, you're kind of late jumping in the pool, no offense, but like with everybody else, that was definitely a late bloomer.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and they, you can ask Stetson. Stetson says it more than anyone. He said, I didn't think he was ever going to rodeo. I don't know, it was awesome watching them do kick butt and do all that stuff, but it never really did it for me. I rode bulls when I was a freshman and got hurt riding bulls, and then after that, I was just
broke the egg in you.
I didn't want to do it. Yeah, I was like, this isn't for me.
So how did that first go? I kind of want to talk about this deal now. So, COVID, you're putting down the fence and pliers and picking up a bronc rein. What was that first time like?
It wasn't that easy. I put down the fence and pliers and picked up a welding machine because we had to fix the bucking chutes because it had been so long since anyone got on them.
How bad do you want it?
It was kind of like you had to work. I had to work for it before I could actually work for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was awesome.
Yeah. What, your dad and brothers there? Did you have the whole crew or?
Yeah, everyone was there. It was, that was what was so awesome with COVID is I had Rusty, Ryder, Stetson, my dad, Spencer, Jake, Jesse, Alex, my grandpa Bill, everyone was there, and it was awesome. The first one was pretty nerve wracking. I was terrified.
Yeah.
Because that horse, he was big and he wasn't really strong. He didn't really buck that hard, but I had been on the bucking machine and been on a saddle horse and everything, and I did everything. My dad pretty much told me what to do, how to do it. And I don't know, the first one went good. I moved my feet. So that was a plus.
Huge deal.
I wouldn't say I spurred the hair off on my first one, but it went better than I think most kids' first horses do.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's good to have all of those family members around, but it has to be intimidating. I mean, when you're surrounded by world champions and millions of dollars of career earnings, like it has to be something where you're like, okay, I can't mess this up.
Yeah, and it was awesome because they were right there. And shoot, I know it wasn't a perfect bronc ride. When I got off, I felt 10 foot tall and bulletproof. I finally got on a bucking horse, and they were right there. Shoot, it was pretty loud for only having about 10 people there.
Oh man,
it sounded like a little rodeo.
Yeah,
they were all super pumped for me, and I don't know. It was like that every time at a practice, because I did it for 4 months. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we were bucking horses. I'd get on, 3 to 4 every day, every other day until I got it. My dad said I couldn't go to a rodeo till I spurred one every jump. So I was bound and determined I'd get on as much as I can until I could finally do that.
So what was your first rodeo?
It was the little rodeo up in Utah, the amateur rodeo that started during COVID. It was called the Kick and Corona. I went to it and I won the first round, second round, and short round won the average.
Holy cow.
So, again, as soon as you think that the Wright family is done producing champions, then it comes the next one and gives everybody else's hope it's dissipation of.
And it's just ho-hum. Like, first one I went to, I won all 3 rounds in the average. So
it's fine.
It was kind of, that wasn't very good. I loved that it happened, but in my mind, it didn't help me at all because I was like, oh, this is easy.
Right. Yeah.
And it's not at all. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It took me about, I think, 2 rodeos. I won the first 2, and then I finally got here's bronc riding for you.
Yeah.
Got it handed to me.
So fast forward just a little bit farther, and there has to be a moment once you transition to pro rodeos where you feel like you can hang. Like, okay, I've earned my stripes now, and I won X rodeo, and now I belong. What do you feel like was your first major win that did that for you?
Probably Reno, Nevada, my rookie year. Ooh. That was kind of one that one I felt like I finally, like you're saying, it was like, okay, I'm here and I'm good enough to win. So it's time to take this and run with it.
Yeah. Literally earning your spurs on that one.
Yeah.
Silver spurs.
So I won that back to back. That was the one that was, I think I was the first person to do it since 2003. And that was the year I was born.
Oh my God.
So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. That's impressive. Good for you on that deal. And that's, it's kind of cool too, is pretty much everybody, they say rodeo doesn't start till Reno. And then, okay, well, if that's the case, here I am, and make your presence known on that deal.
Yeah, it was a good, because right before Reno, I couldn't ride a stick horse to water. And that really turned it around for me. I don't know what switched in me to make me just start riding good, but it was a good place to do it.
Yeah.
So with this past season being your first NFR, at what point in the season were you like, okay, the box is checked, I'm going? There had to have been a certain rodeo where you're talking to family members who have been there and have been down the trail to where you're like, all right, we got this one made.
Well, like my family, they were telling me probably beginning of August, like, yeah, you got it made. But it never clicked to me until I won Mandan in the very end of September. And I won like 18,000. I'm like, okay, I literally can't get bumped out now. Like, there's no possible way. that was kind of when it hit me like, okay, here we go.
That makes sense.
So going into the finals, going into your first NFR, what was your mindset? Were you asking, your brothers and uncles and everybody, what do I do? Or was it just they were kind of letting you wade the waters yourself?
No, I was asking Ryder because Ryder was right there with me, and I was asking him like just pretty much like how nervous do you get before you do it? He said you'll never know nerves until you're on your grand entry horse and you crack through the alleyway. And that's never been more true in my life. And like that is the most scared I was, is to ride that grand entry horse through the out gates.
Don't fall off.
Yeah.
It
will
was
get run
scary.
over.
Oh my! I had a good horse too. I got lucky. I think it was mine. It was a reigning cow horse. My horse was awesome, but they said that's when you'll be the most nervous.
After
And that was
what,
pretty true. Because after that, it seemed like everything went a million miles an hour.
did the nerves settle up
I didn't
after
really
that? Like, was that kind of the first, like, okay, we're here, we did it, there you go?
Yeah, I was pretty nervous until I stayed pretty nervous clear until my horse ran in, because I told my dad, I said, first night I was out of a left. I said, I'm out of a left, come help me. And well, my dad, I don't know where he was or what he was doing, but at the NFR, like you roll in and have to pull and you have to be ready, or Tom Newens is right there screaming at you. Well, I had to do it all by myself. I was pulling and rolling and trying to measure my rein and do all that. No, but Ryder was on the other side. My dad was nowhere in sight. Couldn't find him. But it was the best thing for me because I didn't really have time to even be nervous about the ride. I was more nervous about getting ready.
Just going to business, yeah. And then after that
I think
first
my dad
ride,
did it on purpose.
yeah, it's good for him. Yeah.
Sink or swim.
Here you go, buddy. After that, and that first ride, I mean, once you got your rein measured, you're set to go, you're in, you're down. Once you sat in that saddle, was it just, all right, we're just doing it now?
Yeah, I was trying to stay as calm as I could, but I don't know. It's I don't know. Like you say, when people hear the Wright family name, it kind of gets a little loud in that Thomas and Mack. Seems like they are quite fond of us there. And I was the first Wright out at the NFR, so when they said my name, I could hear the crowd, and it just went. In the Thomas and Mack, it's just a different kind of loud.
Yeah.
And I heard the crowd, and I had to hurry and nod because I was getting a little nervous.
I'm gonna throw up. Hold on.
Yeah,
it was funny watching.
It was.
Yeah, watching Stetson too. If you're watching on the Cowboy Channel, always go there, and every jump that you got, that you and your brother were riding on, it was like he was right there with you. And I mean, it's pretty impressive to see the energy in the arena, outside the arena, the Wright family. Anybody that it showed, it was just like truly electric. And I think that's compliments though too, because like you guys, you ride electric, and I mean, that energy isn't just from people like, oh, you guys create that energy too. I mean, I don't know if you see that or feel that, but it's a lot to be said. It's like, here you go. Here's a right. Watch what happens.
Yeah. I loved watching Stetson up there. It really, you can tell how into it he is. I think he rode he rode way more horses at the NFR than I did. And he rode them in his chair.
Yeah.
He wasn't in his chair. Yeah. Whoever he was next to, that was his given bronc rein, and they were getting
see his head moving like back and forth, and that's
awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I seen a TikTok saying he's the new Taylor Swift to rodeo.
Stetson, how'd you get hurt at the finals? Well, I was in my chair
round number 5. Let me tell you,
spun around and hit Casey accidentally in the suite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick pause, and we'll be right back. Looking for NFR video content and features? You can find it on YouTube. It's all in one place at /Las Vegas NFR. You will find unique features like the top 35 most memorable moments since 1985, the top 60 NFR contestants of all time, NFR champions recaps, custom NFR videos, and much more. You'll also find NFR performance recaps, insider tips, and interviews you might have missed along the way. Once you dive in, you'll find a lot more great content. There's something for all rodeo fans. 40 years in Vegas, the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo.
So is there a moment for you from your first NFR where you you'll just never forget it?
Oh, probably round 6 running. Ryder was, I think round 6, he went into round 6, number 1 in the world. So he was last out. In my personal opinion, he had the horse to win the whole thing on. Horse kind of just had a nicer day. Well, and I was winning at the time, and I don't know, he was like 85 or something. I can't remember, but I got on the victory lap horse, and I went to run out of from the alleyway, and Ryder was screaming and hooping and hollering. I'll probably never forget that. That was pretty awesome seeing his reaction to that.
That is awesome. Because
I wish there was a video of it.
Yeah, well, and you guys, it's a special bond because there's so many different individuals from uncles and brothers that could teach and tell you so much, and you also have your dad as well. So it's a unique bond that you guys have that not many other families in the rodeo world can attest to.
Yeah, I'm very I'm very blessed to have all the help in the world, and in my eyes, it's all the help in the world and the biggest competition in the world too. So it's there's really no place to settle and get comfortable because they're always right there breathing down your neck, or you're just trying to. I'm a little bit competitive when it comes to trying to beat my brothers because they've been so good at it. I like to, when I beat them, I feel like a bad son of a gun.
Remember that? Yeah. What was your your pre-NFR routine, if you had one?
I went to a lot of little tiny amateur rodeos before the NFR. I was just trying to stay getting on and tried to just not change anything I'd have done. Like the year before the NFR, going out to watch my brothers, I was going to every little rodeo there was just because I really didn't have nothing else to do. And I figured that's kind of what got me there. I might as well just keep doing what I did to get there. So I just went and just kept getting on bucking horses and kept trying to, I don't know, keep everything sharp and ready to roll at the NFR.
How did it look when you got to the NFR? I mean, did you feel prepared? Were you like, all right, this is it? Because it's different than any other rodeo. Obviously, you've got 10 days and you've got the best horses, the best competitors, but that 10-day stint of being there, that's got to be a little bit difficult to be like, okay, I guess I'm ready.
Yeah, actually I think it was like 2 weeks before the NFR, I went and got on, we did our bronc riding school, and I got on a couple practice horses at the school, and my saddle felt awful. It was off. It was like the worst feeling. I was like, oh goodness. And I didn't dare change anything because I just went to Newtown and was in the short round, I was 90, but those practice horses just felt terrible. And that did not help me at all. I was so nervous. My saddle didn't feel good. But then the first horse I got on was an awesome, perfect welcome to the NFR for me.
So,
horse of 3 hills.
So with that, like your saddle doesn't feel good did your saddle not feel good, or are we just in our head at this time?
I think I was trying to find something to change.
Yeah.
I think I was just in my head trying to be like, oh shoot, I don't even know. It wasn't good though.
Right.
I was nervous wreck.
Yeah. Did you talk to your brothers about that, or was that just, or your dad or anybody, or is that just like, we're not going to talk to anybody about this. My saddle just sucks.
No,
right
that was kind of me just like, yeah, I'm just going to keep this to myself. And if I fall off the first one, then we'll probably figure it out after that.
Yeah.
Then we'll get out the toolkit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I come to go ahead.
Vegas with 2 bronc saddles. I didn't know what I was going to do.
Yeah.
Did it go missing at any point as a rookie?
No, thank goodness. They didn't really. It's nice. I put my stuff by Riders, and most people don't. Most people don't mess with Ryder. I think he's a little more intimidating than I am. So if I just put my stuff by his, and they don't really mess with our stuff.
I'm not
Thank
sure
goodness.
whose is whose. We'll just leave them alone.
Okay, so give us some inside
Yeah.
give us some inside baseball on the brothers. Like if you had to point one thing out about Ruster. Rusty,
Is that the next one?
Ryder and Stetson. Like I want to hear some little tidbits about each one, because Ryder definitely, if there's an intimidating one, I would be intimidated by him for sure.
Yeah, Ryder. Oh, I don't know. It seems like I'm more intimidated by people that are really quiet, because when they open their mouth, it's either something that's really nice, or like with Ryder, when we're messing around with him, he's a little bit of a smarty, and he can shoot some shots, make you feel like a real dum-dum. But yeah, he and Ryder, him being quiet. He's kind of like my dad. When my dad, he's real quiet, but when he speaks, he means business.
Yeah.
And Stetson, he's Stetson. Everyone knows Stetson.
Yeah.
Funny, happy go lucky. Rusty, he knows everything there's to know about bronc riding that you'll ever think. The smartest bronc rider I've ever met, which is very good and very bad because he knows everything. That's a double-edged sword there.
Oh, that's good.
Definitely proved it a time or two also.
I'm like the least smart bronc rider. I don't know anything about bronc riding. Like when it comes to my bronc saddle, I have no idea.
Know thyself. That's biblical.
Yeah.
Who does the entering for your family?
My dad. He enters at all of us, which is, he needs to get more credit for that, because that is a job. I had to enter one rodeo. I did it beginning of last year, and I'll never do that again. It was the worst. It was stressful. It was just a small rodeo too. I just wanted to try to enter. It's the most stressful thing I've ever done.
What's your make or break? Entering the rodeo.
Yeah.
Gotta have someone else do it.
Entering the rodeo.
If I have to enter, I'm not going.
Yeah, $1 million you have to enter. Well, it looks like
Yeah.
we're going to be $1 million short on this one.
Yeah.
When you got to Las Vegas, obviously you've been to Las Vegas before, done the whole thing, but it's, as a competitor, what was that like? And did you settle into, a routine? Did you just go with the flow? But it's kind of like watching a car wreck. There's a difference between watching it and being in one, and it could be somewhat of a wreck if you're not prepared.
Yeah. It was actually really nice, because I kind of just fell into the routine with Ryder. Just kind of tried to do everything he did. It was, because I really didn't know what I was doing. I was lost. Sounds weird, but I'd been in the NFR. My dad's first NFR was in 2003, so that was when I was born, and I've been to the NFR every year since then.
Yeah.
And it's a whole different ballgame when you're at that thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot more that goes into it that people don't, like signing autographs and all that. And people like to really try to make you nervous when they tell you, you're not doing good, you're on my fantasy team. Okay, I meant to fall off yesterday. I did that on purpose to mess up your fantasy team.
Oh, God.
Let me apologize and give you your $20 back.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah, seriously.
well, and kind of the hard part
Yeah.
too for any contestant coming to the National Finals Rodeo is you've got the autographs, you've got the if there's sponsors there or whatever. But again, the notoriety of being a Wright and coming with there, it's like, oh my gosh, there's it's expected to see you guys in certain places and do the thing, and so it's like now you're part of the big team of making it, and so that's got to even add a little bit more pressure.
Yeah, because it was always like every year I'd go to the finals before, it would kind of just be like, they'd walk by, I'd be in my blue shirt or whatever, and they'd be like, hi, Rusty. Hi, Stetson. Hi, Ryder. They'd call me. Well, this year they knew who I was. I was like, oh, dang. This is a lot different than I'm used to.
Yeah. You've probably been called worse, but that's not bad. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What did your nighttime, you got a restaurant or anything you like to go to or wanted to go to, or what was your kind of, do you have any decompression time during the rodeo?
Not really, because it seemed like Ryder was on a freaking hot streak. We went to it seemed like Ryder won. If it wasn't every round, it was every other round, it felt like. And we were going to the South Point every night and doing all that, and then we'd get back, and it would kind of be like eat a snack and go to bed and get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and go sign autographs. It was a great problem to have. I'm not complaining.
Sure.
But,
winning over 100,000 your first year, that's not too shabby.
Yeah, it was fun, especially the winning the round. That was the hard thing for me, is I'm not much of a partier, but after winning that round I wanted to go run the town, and I had to not do it. That was rough. I was like, this is boring.
Yeah.
But it was
So this is what
there was
winning's like.
$33,000 I could win the next day too.
Right.
And I didn't party, and I did pretty good the next day, so I wasn't that mad.
Right.
The next day after it all happened.
Do you feel like there's a type of horse that fits you better than another?
Yeah, the horses everyone hates usually are the horses that I get along with the most. Like them big, strong, powerful. Those seem to fit me the best. The bigger the horse and the stronger, it usually seems like it fits me better because I'm a little bit taller.
Are there 2 or 3 names that stick out that you kind of lick your chops whenever they put you next to it?
Well, at the NFR in round 7, I got on Breezy Fling of Kirsten Vold's.
Okay.
And that one really sticks out to me. I actually got to get on that one again in Colorado versus the World and was like 91.5 there on her. And then any Butler horses most people, they don't seem to feel too good with most people, but I seem to get like any Butler horse really. I don't know what it is. Those horses feel really good to me.
So
That's I really can only think of Breezy Fling because I like that one.
Yeah. Any big, strong man killer. That's your breed right there.
Yeah. Those seem to fit me the best.
Yeah.
I say that. So, and I mean, sometimes they'll get the best of you sometimes, but they seem to make you really feel like a bronc rider when you get one of them rode.
Yeah. What was your mindset after your first NFR?
Oh, I don't know, walking around, it's kind of, I'm not more, last year, I know going into like Fort Worth stuff, very intimidated by, I don't know, like everyone, all the top 15 guys, they kind of intimidated me. And I don't know, I'd kind of just sit there and not really talk. And I don't know, the little stuff like that really gets to you in your confidence. And this year, it don't seem like I'm intimidated by, I don't know, top 15 guys anymore. I've really changed my mindset now to where I'm not riding against, I don't know, let's say Zeke Thurston, Cade Bruno, Brody Crest. I'm not riding against them. I'm riding against this 1,500-pound horse. That's kind of how I look at it now.
Yeah.
Seems to make it a lot easier on me.
Well, I mean, you're exactly right. You have to go do your job. You can't control what a judge writes down. You can't control what's drawn for you. You have to go do your job, and then everything else just falls where it lands.
Yeah, and that was been the hardest thing for me and I still catch myself doing that, but I will say it's got a lot better this year.
Well, speaking of this year, you've got some big life changes coming up in your near future, huh?
Yeah, we got a real big one. I'm actually really excited. This is probably going to be the longest year of my life, but I'm really excited.
Do we have a due date?
I think September 25th, I think, is the due date.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Just to talk a little bit more in the baby world, are you guys the type where you're gonna go ahead and pick out a name, or is there going to be like this big surprise thing, in the hospital? What's your philosophy on that?
Yeah, I'm been trying to think of a name, and it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life, because I get to thinking like I'm about to name a kid, and it's its name for the rest of its life.
Oh yeah.
My fiance Jaden, she's very like, anything that is a tongue twister, she's not doing it.
I get it.
Anything that goes together, like, I don't know. It's very confusing to me. I would just name it whatever. But we should find out here in about a week on what we're having. And the one name, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's a no-no.
Okay.
But I think I'm going to try and, if it's a girl, we're going to try and keep the name until the hospital on my side of the family, because it's going to be after somebody. Okay. I'll just throw that out there. It'll be after somebody.
The name thing is funny. I've got 3 kids, and my son was really the rough one for us. And my wife and I couldn't come up with like a name that either one of us really liked. And we were driving down the road, and that song Lukenbach, Texas, let's go to Lukenbach. That one, the one. I go, what about Lukenbach? And she looked at me dead serious, and she's like, I don't hate that. And so it's kind of a joke now. My son will be mouthing off like, dude, you don't know how close you came to being named Lukenbach. He's like, what's Lukenbach? I'm like, it's almost your name, bud.
Well, if it's a boy, though, it's got to be something Western, right? I mean, because you have Statler and not Ruster or Rusty and Ryder and, and Stetson. So, I mean, those are...
Resist all right.
Yeah, and I really think of it like where my mind goes to is Rusty's got a little boy named Rookie. Ryder's got a little boy named Rebel. I'm like, we got to have a sweet name. So when they're all three rodeo going together, kicking ass.
That's right. I love it. I love it.
The last name is secondary to the first name. There's Rookie and Rebel.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It'll be, the boy name is the hardest thing for me. But with our track record, it's not going to be a boy. We're outnumbered in the girl category. So I don't think I'm going to be getting a boy.
So then the Wrights are going to be taking over breakaway and barrel racing before too long. With that
Lily started that. She's already in full barrel racing mode, and she is pretty dang good at it for only doing it for. She's only been doing it about a year, and she's kicking some butt. She's been going down to Arizona with Sherry Servey, and yeah, she's starting to catch on to it, and she's learning fast. It's pretty awesome. I can't wait till the day it's all four of us at the NFR, and then Lily in the barrel racing at the NFR. It'll be pretty wild.
Well, we look forward to seeing you back in action, Statler, and we appreciate you carving out some time for us and chatting it up here on NFR Extra.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Want to experience more of the NFR? Then visit NFRexperience.com, and we invite you to subscribe to NFR Extra on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you're listening right now. If you like what you've heard on NFR Extra, we would love it if you gave us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe.